Unfiled tax returns, how many years back, and what to do now. I get clients coming into my office every day and calling me that they haven't filed tax returns in years. They're freaking out and they don't know what to do. So I thought I'd make this little video dedicated to that fear. If you haven't filed in a few years and now you're wondering how many years you actually need to file to get back on track, in the next few minutes I'll explain the IRS's general rule, what really happens if you don't file, and the exact steps to fix it fast. I'm tax attorney Chad Silver, founder of Silver Tax Group. I've been practicing tax law for over 15 years, and it's the only thing my firm does, and it's the only thing I'm interested in. We live and breathe tax defense. Our promise is simple. We build it, we submit it, and we'll defend it if necessary. We've helped thousands of taxpayers get into compliance and protect their income, businesses, and families. The most important thing you can do is hire a qualified, licensed tax attorney to help you through your tax problems. How many years back do you need to file? Well, here's the short answer most people want. The IRS generally requires the last 6 years of returns to bring you back into compliance. And in some cases, they may ask for fewer or more, depending on your situation. If you're behind more than 6 years, we typically build a 6-year filing plan unless facts suggest otherwise. Those facts are usually determined by our thorough investigation of your tax situation, which we do for every case before we get it. One more critical point. If you never file, there's no statute of limitations on how far back the IRS can assess tax. Filing starts the clock and puts you in control of this situation. Why acting now matters? Every month you wait, penalties and interest keep adding up. And if the IRS files a substitute return for you called an SFR, it often overstates what you owe because it doesn't include many deductions or credits you're entitled to. Also, if you're due a refund, you generally only have 3 years to claim it. Miss that window and the money's gone, poof, forever, even if the IRS owes you. Who do we see in this situation the most? Well, unfiled returns are common after big life events, job changes, illness, divorce, moving, starting a business, not knowing what to do. We especially see it with self-employed taxpayers, gig workers, real estate agents, contractors, OnlyFans models, and owners of small businesses juggling payroll and quarterly estimate. Real client examples. Example one, self-employed professional hadn't filed in 7 years, and the IRS had already created substitute SFR returns showing a large balance owed. I pulled the transcripts. I rebuilt the expenses. I filed 6 compliant years and replaced the substitute for return assessments, saving them well over $100,000 compared to what the IRS initially claimed. This is real. This isn't made up. This happens all the time for us. So example number 2, a W-2 employee with 4 unfiled years was about to lose a home loan. We fast-tracked the filings, claimed missed credits, and set up an affordable installment agreement. They closed on time and avoided a future enforcement action by the IRS. Getting compliant the right way the first time changes everything. And a lot of time people will come to our firm, they hear what we say, but they'll find an enticing advertisement who's promising the sun, moon, and stars and a lower tax bill. Trust me, all that stuff is nonsense. Here's the playbook I use every day. I pull IRS transcripts, wage, income transcripts, record of account, IRS account transcripts to see exactly what the IRS sees. I look at it. Then I reconstruct your books. I do that using bank statements, 1099s, W-2s, mileage logs, receipts, depreciation of any type of asset. Whatever's missing, we fill in the blanks. We help you do this. We file the required unfiled tax years, typically 6 years, unless your facts require more or less. We capture every legitimate deduction and credit possible. Then we fix the bad IRS substitute for returns, also called SFRs. We substitute those with real returns and request audit reconsideration if needed. Then we figure out the best resolution for any remaining balance. There's the installment agreement, often the fastest for relief. Currently not collectible or hardship status, where your expenses are in excess of your income. There's always the offer and compromise. Again, rarely granted. Penalty abatement or first time reasonable cause penalty abatement where appropriate. And we protect you while we work when possible. We ask for holds. We submit appeal rights, which can also stop IRS collection processes, or we submit for hearings to pause the enforcement action. We always ask for a reasonable time to work with our client to get the best resolution possible and also work with the IRS. Common mistakes to avoid. Waiting because you can't pay in full. File anyways. The compliance unlocks options because if you're not in compliant, you're going to have to get into compliant before they're going to release the wage garnishment or lift a bank account levy. Guessing your numbers and inaccurate returns is a bad idea that can trigger audits and lead to bigger bills. The other thing I don't recommend is ignoring the SFR notices. Those default assessments are rarely favorable towards you. That's when the IRS files a return on your behalf because they know that you have a filing requirement and you've ignored their notices. The last thing is also setting up an unaffordable payment plan where you'll always end up defaulting, and then the IRS will bring back their enforcement arm at you and they'll bring it back stronger because you're not in compliance. They know you got a history of defaulting on their payment plans. Why would they want to work with you after that? So here's a quick on-screen checklist that you need to have. Transcripts pulled, missing W-2 or 1099s collected, bank expenses and records organized, develop a 6-year filing plan, and think about what resolution you need to choose: an installment agreement, a hardship CNC, or an offer in compromise, or maybe we need to file some type of hearing. At Silver Tax Group, we handle unfiled returns every day. We'll map the exact years you need, file fast, and pursue the resolution that protects you and your paycheck. If you have unfiled tax returns, don't wait even many years because honestly, when we get a case with unfiled tax returns, that's usually where we can add the most value to your case because we can file those returns, take advantage of the best deductions possible, and try to lower your balance legally, not through some promise of an offer and compromise that won't work. So call me today. Call us at Silver Tax Group at 855-900-1040 or visit us at silvertaxgroup.com. I'm tax attorney Chad Silver, founder of Silver Tax Group. We build your tax defense, we submit your tax defense, and we'll defend the tax defense if necessary. Please like and subscribe for more tax relief tips. Stay informed, stay protected, and I'll see you in the next video.